my name is Rebecca, otherwise known as Solvoluntaria, as that is my witch spiritual name. Thank you for joining me today. I am here for another Witch Wednesday. A little note of thank you for your patience and understanding, as I know this video is going up a bit later than it normally does. I did try to leave a note in my community tab. I don't know if it worked. I think so, but who knows. So what happened was, when I filmed last night, I was making pierogies and the oil got really loud and it just ruined most of the footage. So here I am. I am here today for this Witch Wednesday to give you an update into my depth year. For the year of 2020, I've taken on a depth year. If you'd like to hear more about what exactly that is, please go and click up in the cards at my introduction video of that. This video is updating for how it went for the month of January. So the first really important thing I find to note is just to reiterate that up to this point, my depth year has not been set out to be specifically about watching my spending. I buy too much stuff. Yes, I buy too much stuff. Yes, my depth year is veering that way very quickly, but it didn't start out that way. So my year didn't start out with me thinking, yeah, I'm just going to do a depth year because I spend so much money and I want to stop doing it. My year really started out with this because I thought I really like the mindset and the mentality behind the depth year. My depth year is about the idea of stepping into myself, even if it means getting new stuff. That's what I wrote for a note. So the idea that brought me into this depth year was the idea of finally going deeper with all of these things that just mean so much to me. Specifically my witchness, my spiritualness. So I wanted to go deeper with tarot. I wanted to go deeper with my spiritual practice. I wanted to go deeper with my research into my spiritual practice. So based purely on where I am in my spiritual journey and my path, that still involves a lot of expansion and a lot of new things because I am still discovering. So yes, I'm not buying new books because I have over 30 books that I would like to read. It's just important to note that for me, the emphasis is not on money. It's never been on money. I am going that way, but I didn't start it that way. For the month of January, let's get some updates going here. In the month of January, there was a few really big mindset things and themes that I was thinking of. One was I got out of nowhere, I got this huge craving to do goddess work. Don't quite know why. I just got this huge craving to do goddess work. It was something like I always kind of low level wanted before. Like I was like, oh yeah, I've got a couple goddesses I love. But like this craving hit, and like literally all I could think about for a while was doing goddess work. So that mindset started, and there will be more updates for that next month's video because stuff has happened in February and I'll be able to tell you about that a bit more soon. Another big underlying theme that was really important was the feeling like it's going by too fast. So for example, like I said, I have 30 plus books I want to read and I have a lot in my life. And I really want to be able to sit down and dedicate a whole bunch of my time to this. I don't have that time to dedicate. I have a son who's 5. I have a husband. It's just not in my possibility right now to sit down and spend all my time doing this. So I'm sitting there and I'm reading a book and I'm thinking, I'm not reading fast enough. And I'm rushing and I'm like, stop. Like at one point I looked at myself and I was like, oh my god, I'm not going fast enough. And then the other half of myself's like, chill, because there's nothing you can do. You can't spend this time and you're not focusing, you're not taking things in if you're not slowing down and paying attention to what you're doing. So that was a really important thing. Y'all, let me just quickly tell you here, I'm having a time trying to film this. Okay. So generally for the month of January, I was feeling really good about my depth year. I had those couple of thoughts, but I was just feeling really positive. I was getting a lot done. I did a ton of work on my website. I got it all up and running, which is kind of good and kind of counterproductive based on things now. More on that later. Now, so there was 3 discoveries. One was I got a new tarot deck. I got the Tarot of Transformation by Willow Arlenia and Jasmine Lee Corey. And see, I bought a new tarot deck and I regret nothing. I love this deck. It's beautiful. There's something about the pictures. I can read it so well. I did discover though that in this, I really need to start cutting it back and staying off of too many collection videos and things like that, because I look it up and then I look at things. I look up the tarot decks and I look at the pictures and then I go, ooh. So there's that. The 2 big things that happened. First, I don't know why this seemed surprising to me at the time. Nowadays, like now it feels like, why didn't I think of this before? Like, this makes perfect sense. I started studying astrology. Now, I can't remember at all how I started studying astrology specifically. I watched through Samantha Menzo, who is a YouTuber. I will link her up above. I watched through her videos of it, teaching the basics when she did it for Witchy Book Club a couple years ago. And I loved them. And I love astrology. And it's playing such a huge, amazing role in my life. I'm learning astrology because I like to have a different perspective on things, and because it enables me to try different approaches to how I'm handling situations. So I read something in someone's chart that made me think about how they react to specific situations. Based on that new information, I thought, okay, here's how I can handle that situation differently. Here's how I can handle and take my part of that situation differently to hopefully get a better outcome for everyone. And it's working. It's fantastic. Which, and astrology led me to my second, and this was huge. For the year of 2020, I initially picked the word of the year, grounded. I thought it was going to be depth before the year started. And then I watched Jessica the Story Witch's video, which I will link up above, about picking the words of the year. And I ended up with grounded, from depth to grounded. Very similar tones. Grounded is not my word. I was wrong. So I got up one morning. I had started studying astrology. And I had noticed that I have this big theme in my chart of balance and polarity being a huge issue for me. Huge. It's all over my chart. And I pulled my daily card, which I pull a card from the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krans, and I pulled Temperance. And if you haven't seen it, I'll insert a picture. The card looks like this. So the card is a heron with fire and water. And I read it and it talked all about how this heron is trying to balance and trying to temper fire and water. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. I, in fact, went right to Messenger and messaged Jessica the Story Witch because, like, I was like, oh my God, I think my word of the year changed. It just made so much sense. And temperance is related to balance because tempering things is a way to balance things. So suddenly I have this new word of the year, and man, is it definitely my word because it is popping up everywhere. I was shuffling cards with my transformation tarot, and I pulled a card, and I looked at the picture, and I looked at the top, and it said integrating polarities. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a great card, it's beautiful. And then I was writing, and I looked up, and that was when I noticed that at the bottom of the card it said temperance. I was out and about in my everyday life, and someone I ran into is named Temperance, and I've never met anyone named Temperance before in my life. This word is stalking me, and it is stalking me hard, and I love it, and I'm really enjoying working with it. In fact, I'm going to be doing a video. I haven't set when yet, but I do intend to do a video of how I'm working with the word temperance, because it's a huge, it's huge. It's just like, whoa. It's just so very huge. It's very obviously huge. I've just basically been spending my time just being myself and learning to be myself. There is one thing I forgot. The other underlying theme I found was about how I'm filling myself. I ended up in a conversation with someone, and they said to me, they said, Rebecca, I was talking to them about how I was deprogramming my brain from all the crap I was taught as a kid, and how I was reading this book on something, and they said, Rebecca, stop reading. You are taking away these thoughts that were put into your head, and you are replacing them with someone else's perception on things. Now, I don't fully agree with them. I absolutely think there's value in reading. They made a good point, though, because as soon as I am deprogramming, I take things in to myself very quickly. And it's not even just deprogramming, it's just in general. I just take things in really quickly and really deep into myself. So I had a long conversation with my husband after about this, and I spent a lot of time thinking about learning the line between using books to gather information and to look at it and go, oh, that's cool, I think this though, and using books to fill the space in my head because I haven't given myself the space to find my own thoughts on things. And that's really what this depth year is about. This depth year is about me learning my own voice and finding my own voice, like the one in my head, finding it and learning it, and learning what I think about things and what things I want to spend my time doing, and then doing it. So it's a pretty important thing there. So that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for your patience and understanding, and for checking out this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought. Are you doing a depth year? Tell me if you are. How's it going for you? I want to hear about it. Maybe do a video response. You can always tag me if you also have a YouTube channel. That would be exciting. So yeah, I'm exhausted. That's it. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to check down in the description box for my social media information. I have my website where you can get all the information about how I'm trying to support myself in life. I'm a painter, and I've got information about that there if you live in the GTA area. For the time being, that's all I can offer that service to. So give that a click. Please don't forget to give this video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe so that way you can come back and find me nice and easily. I really feel like I'm getting my groove with this, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm so grateful every time someone clicks on my videos, even if they click off right away. Although I can always see if you click off. Just saying. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful evening. Love and light always. Bye.